This video will demonstrate how to place Gerbau's Vended washer control into a test mode. This will allow you to quickly diagnose the functionality of components before starting to troubleshoot. If the machine fails to perform one of the test functions, it may have this same issue when in normal use. The test mode allows you to run through every function and helps identify functions that do not work. The steps in this video might differ slightly depending on your exact model. First, place the washer into the configuration mode. In order to do this, the washer must not be running, the door must be open, and the input power coming into the washer must be turned off. After turning off the power, it is recommended that you wait 2 to 3 minutes for any residual power to dissipate. To open the top cover of the washer, unlock both locks on the top. Carefully lift the cover up. This might require additional help. Removing the cover might differ depending on the model. The A1 board is located on the inside of the control panel. Locate switch S3. It is located on the top left of the A1 board. This board may be covered with a moisture protection guard. To enable configuration mode, there are 2 different types of switches. One type is opened by carefully pushing down and unhooking a wire. The switch wire should not touch the corresponding hook. The other type is a sliding dip switch. The configuration mode will always be the top switch. Slide the switch to the off position, towards the number. Turn power back on. The display now reads CONF. Press the 4 key until the display reads TEST. Press 1 and the display will read the model type and capacity. Press 1 and the display will read CLC0 or CLC1 if the control has a clock option. Press 1 and the display will show the time in a 24-hour military format. Press 3 and minutes will flash. Press 2 to increase or 4 to decrease the value until the correct minutes are displayed. Press 3 and hours will flash. Press 2 to increase or 4 to decrease the value until the correct hour setting is displayed. Press 1 and the day of the week is displayed by number and letter. Press 3 to change the day and the display will flash. Press 2 to increase or 4 to decrease until the correct day is displayed. Press 1 and the display will read LEDS. This step is for verifying that the display LEDs are working. Press 2 repeatedly to turn on all the LEDs individually. Press 1 and the display will show DISP. This step is for verifying the display segments are all lighting. Press 2 repeatedly and each segment will light in each chip until the display reads 8888. Press 1 and the display will show BAL1 or BAL0, indicating the balance switch state for EH models. Washer models EM, MG, and RMG do not have a balance switch. To test the balance switch on the EH model, move the inner drum to the left, activating the switch. The display will change from BAL1 to BAL0. Press 1 and the display will read NLC0. This step verifies the coin blocking arm solenoid on coin drops. Press 2 to unblock the coin slot, allowing coins to be entered. Press 4 to block the coin slot opening. Press 1 and the display will read 1-00. This step verifies the electronic eye coin acceptor is functional. Every coin you drop should raise the number on the display by 1. Drop several coins to ensure proper function. Press 1 and the display will read DR- and a number. This step is for verifying the door hinge switch operation. When the door is closed, the display will read DR-1 and when the door is open, the display will read DR-0. Open and close the door to make sure the door hinge switch is functioning properly. You will need to close the door to advance. Press 1 and the display will read UNLC. This step verifies the door is unlocked. Press 2 and the display flashes until the door locks and LC is displayed. If the door fails to lock, the display will read ALN, indicating a door lock failure. Press 4 and the door will unlock. The display will read UNLC. We suggest you test the door lock several times to verify proper operation. You must have the door locked with the display reading LC to advance in the test mode. Press 1 and the display will read E-0. This verifies the drain valve is in the open position. Press 2 and you will hear the drain valve close. The display will show E-1, indicating the drain valve is closed. To verify the next steps, we suggest leaving the drain valve closed. Press 1 and the display will read a number in between 00.45 to 00.55. This step indicates there is no water in the basket. Make sure you note this pressure switch value. Later in the test, we will verify that this number has changed. Press 1 and the display will read A1-0. This verifies the A1 cold fill valve is closed. There should be no water running. Press 2 and the display will read A1-1. The valve should open and you should hear water flowing through it. Press 4. The display will return to A1-0 and water should stop flowing. Press 1 and the display will read A2-0. This verifies the hot fill valve is closed. There should be no water running. Press 2 and the display will read A2-1. The valve should open and you should hear water flowing through it. Press 4, the display will return to A2-0 and the water should stop flowing. Press 1 and the display will read D3-0. This verifies the valve is closed. There should be no water running. Press 2 and the display will read D3-1. The valve should open and the bleach compartment should fill with water. After approximately 10 seconds, the control will disconnect power to the valve, stopping water flow, and the display will read D3-0. When the compartment is filled to overflowing, the siphon effect should start and automatically empty the compartment. Press 1 and the display will read D4-0. This verifies the valve is closed. There should be no water running. Press 2 and the display will read D4-1. The valve should open and the softener compartment should fill with water. After approximately 10 seconds, the control will disconnect power to the valve, stopping water flow, and the display will read D4-0. When the compartment is filled to overflowing, the siphon effect should start and automatically empty the compartment. Press 1 and the display will read D1-0. This verifies that external dosing signals at the chemical relay output. Press 2 and the display will read D1-1, activating the dosing relay. Press 4 and the display will read D1-0, turning off the signal. Press 1 and the display will read D2-0. This verifies the external dosing signals at the chemical relay output. Press 2 and the display will read D2-1, activating the dosing relay. Press 4 and the display will read D2-0, turning off the signal. Press 1 and the display will read A3-0. This verifies the external dosing signals at the chemical relay output. Press 2 and the display will read A3-1, activating the dosing relay. Press 4 and the display will read A3-0, turning off the signal. Press 1 and the display reads A5-0. This verifies the rinse valve is closed. There should be no water running. Press 2, the display will read A5-1, activating the water valve. You should see water raising in the drum. Press 4 and the display will read A5-0, turning off the signal. If you do not press anything, the valve will automatically turn off once it reaches a certain level. Press 3 and the current water level should read a pressure switch value above 00.55. Look to verify no water is draining past the closed drain valve. Press 1 and the display will read either F or C with 3 numbers after it. This verifies the temperature probe circuit with the F signifying Fahrenheit and the C Celsius. You can verify the water temperature. Press 1 and the display will read VAR. The basket will begin to rotate and the drain valve will open. Press 1, the display will read SPD2. To increase the speed, press 2. You cannot change the speed if the display is flashing. To advance to the next speed, wait until the display stops flashing and press 2. To decrease the speed, press 4 when the flashing stops. SPD6 is the highest speed. To end the extract sequence, press the stop button. Once the rotation has completely stopped, the door will unlock. Turn off power to the washer. Close S3 switch by rehooking the wire to the loop or returning the dip switch to its original position. Turn on the power. It is back in its normal run mode.